Good morning, Teach Better team. Happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, May 24th. This is your daily drop-in. I'm not sure if you can hear him. My dog's going ballistic upstairs. My mic's probably picking it up. I've got our good friend Joshua Stamper here with us. We're excited that you're here. If you're watching live, drop in the comments. Let us know what you're drinking this morning. What are you getting ready for? Are you going to school? Some people might be done with school already, so that'd be interesting to know. I'd love to also know what's on your coffee cup. Josh, we're going to look at his as soon as we get back. We're going to talk. We're going to talk about our theme for the week. We're going to get into a good news story, share some holidays, get into Josh's head a little bit. But we're happy to be here, just getting your morning started off. Or if you listen later on Teach Better Talk podcast, we're happy you're here as well. So grab your refill of coffee or tea or whatever you drink in the morning and join us. We'll be back in just a few seconds. Good morning. We're live today for Daily Drop-In. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. We've got our good friend Joshua _Stamper with us today. Josh, how are you, my friend?
I'm awesome, man. Anytime with you, especially in the morning.
That's what I try to tell people, but you seem to be like the only one who's getting it,
I'm Team Jeff. I mean, I always have been, so, got to represent.
Wow. Does Ray know?
Well, thankfully, she's far, far away right now.
She's probably not even watching. Dave and I did this yesterday. It's like the mid-afternoon there. Like, she could very easily be watching right now. Like,
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about the time change.
Oh, man. Anyway, no, it's a good Tuesday. Excited to have you here. I know you're going to work after this. You're about to wrap up. How far are we from the end of the year? How many days you have left with kids and such?
No, we're done with kids.
Kids are done.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
so in
happy
Texas,
summertime to the kids down in Texas.
I know my kids right now are sleeping. They have no care in the world. They're not going to wake up anytime soon.
Good for them.
Yeah.
So how long does staff have?
So yeah, the teachers are done too. So
wow, okay.
So they have the option of either staying late on Friday or coming in Saturday morning for a couple hours just to kind of like wrap up everything, and then they go into their summer break. So right now it's just myself, the counselors, and a couple additional support staff. But yeah, so we're very small.
True or false? After the kids and teachers are gone, does the admins then like run around the school hooting and hollering like out of excitement, or are you like somber in your offices?
No, there's some excitement for sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This was a tough year, so I think everyone was just glad to wrap it up and to go into summer and rejuvenate.
God, wow. Okay, what's on tap for the Stamper family this summer? I know you guys do you do some travel. You do travel. You like to go camping, things of that nature. What's any big plans for the summer?
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that third week of July.
Well, I don't know if I can talk about that, but
you can absolutely talk about that.
Well, the Teach Better team is going to have a retreat, and
got that going on.
The team is coming together for the first time
ever,
and we've grown quite a bit.
It's much bigger. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
We are going to hike. So you'll love it.
Perfect.
Like we're gonna go like easy hikes, but we're gonna hike. There's some waterfalls there, some really beautiful. It's a beautiful spot that we're going to. So.
Yeah.
But what are you guys doing? Any camping this summer?
For sure. So we'll head up to Colorado. So that's kind of our thing every summer that we go up there. We have some family to stay with, and we go out into the mountains and explore. So that's the big thing. We've got quite a crew, so we're going to be hiking and camping for a little bit, and then we'd like to do some spontaneous trips during the summer too. So last year we just kind of picked up and headed over to Alabama off the coast there, and so we're kind of trying to figure out what we're going to do for a spontaneous trip this summer too.
When you go to Colorado, are you camping like in tents, or do you find so you're like legit?
We're legit, yeah. So I know some people have campers and things like that, but we just bust up the tents, and we've got our kids trained pretty well, so everyone's kind of got their roles and jobs to set up camp and break it down. So I mean, we've hit some pretty nasty storms before, so we've had to break down camp pretty fast, and it's fun. I mean, the kids love it. It's, outdoors. I know that's kind of the theme this week, but I mean, I don't know about your kids, but when my kids are outdoors, away from electronics and away from just kind of the rat race of life, I mean, they're a lot more free flowing. The attention span is a little bit better. They're happier. They get along more. I mean, we do see a difference. And so it's, as a family, it's a very enjoyable time.
We do as well. We don't camp necessarily as much. I mean, we do with Boy Scouts and stuff, but like when we go to Canada to the cottage, it's all solar power. We don't have, so you don't have you're not using electronics. You don't have cable, internet or anything like that.
Right.
So you just enjoying the other ways to enjoy life, right? Which is exploring around, fishing, swimming, whatever, or the most the closest we get to like gaming or anything is like games, like board games or card game stuff, which is just different. So same thing. They seem to get along better that way. So is it one big tent? Or do you have do the kids have their own? Like, do you have like your own little community basically? Because there's a lot of you.
There's a lot of us.
You guys can have a lot of tents.
We have 2 tents, yeah. So most of the places that we stay won't allow more than 2 tents. So we've kind of got it broken down. So there's a larger tent, more of us fit in. So
you typically find like a place so you have like your own spot that you reserve and you go there or whatever. You're not just like randomly picking a spot in the woods or whatever.
No, we like to plan it because, there's other amenities that are needed also.
Sure.
So, like there's certain state parks that we like go to in Texas that, there might be a river or a lake or something like that, and we want to be close to that. So we try and pick something for that. But usually we're, packed up. We have to hike a little bit to get to the campground. It's not just straight from the car, to the site. So I like to, try and be as outdoorsy as possible. I mean, within reason, because we do have 6 kids, so it's a lot.
It's a lot of kids, man. Like, it's a lot of kids.
I know. It's a fleet, really. Let's be
I have 2, and I'm like, that's 3 times as many.
Yeah. Never a dull day in the Stamper household. I'll tell you that much.
Bet, that's good. Good morning to those dropping in saying good morning this morning.
Yes.
Or saying dudes. That's Schnexer.
What's up, Schnex?
Becky, who is going to be on Thursday. With our theme being outdoor learning, she's excited. She texted me yesterday, and guess what she texted me, Josh?
What's that?
Dude, no joke. That's how Becky and I text each other. It's like, I don't know why, but there's a certain way I can read the dude that lets me know, and she doesn't have to put it in like an exclamation point. It does. I can read it, and I'm like, she's excited, or she's upset, or hey, she needs to talk. And I'm hoping she can read the same way when I type dude. So that's
she's
exciting.
Saying she's super hyped right now.
She is super hyped. Yes, I know.
I don't know if there's a better person to speak about this topic than her, honestly.
Well, considering Dave and I basically just talked about her yesterday, quite a bit, I think that's a pretty clear sign. So good morning to Bree as well, and Patty. Good to see you again this morning, representing YouTube over there. I love it.
It's awesome.
Josh, so let's see. We talked about your camping stuff. You're wrapping up your school year. But you certainly don't stop your work at all, because you also do a little bit of work for us.
I do.
Break down your role for us, because I think people know you, but I'm not sure everyone knows exactly what you do for us on the team. You do quite a few things, so like you can rattle off all the stuff. But tell us what you do for the team.
Well, I mean, main thing is the podcast network. So building that, I had the pleasure of starting from ground zero with that project, and now we've got 40 podcasts.
Is it 40 now?
Yeah. Wow. So we don't have 40 on the website because we're onboarding some.
Okay.
Folks, but, we do have 40 that are a part of the network right now. So to go from seeing it from its creation to nothing really to where it is now is pretty, spectacular. And, the projects that we're working on now, we're doing the podcast summits here coming up, and we've done masterminds before. Just love building that community and seeing like where it's gone from. That's pretty fun. And then also the swag store. I do a lot of design work for items in the swag store for the Teach Better team. So if you're looking to represent, make sure you jump on there. check out some of the items. But yeah, I love designing. I don't know if a lot of people probably don't know this, but I was a graphic designer before I was an educator. So that's in my background and something I love to do, something I still get to do, obviously with the Teach Better team, but then also with my own podcast. So love working on design work. And I kind of fill in, on lives. I, jump in sometimes with the leadership mastermind. Obviously the conference is coming up. So working on Podcasters Row for that.
Podcasters Row for that.
Yeah. So can we say how excited we are for October? I don't know about you, but
we can talk about whatever you want, my friend. You are leading the way today right now.
I don't know. I'm pretty psyched about every time I get thinking about October.
Like, I know you're excited. Like, you seem like extra now. Now I'm really interested in like what's got you going right now. But like, I mean, I'm excited too. I just like,
well, just thinking about we're done with the year, so like doing some reflection, and the battery's a little bit low. Thinking about recharging, like what a better way than to get around some amazing educators and see like friendly faces. And I just keep thinking about 2019, and this is like on a grander scale, and like just a beautiful facility that we're going to be at in Ohio, and the Podcast Row is going to be bigger. Like everything is just kind of like, I feel like everything's kind of just extra. Like it's just a little bit bigger.
Yeah. How many do we have right now for Podcasters Row? So we have 10 now?
10 right now.
10 right now.
Yeah, and that's growing.
So teachbetterconference.com, and you can go up, if you click on the sponsors, you can submit there to be on Podcasters Row. So break down Podcasters Row for us, like what that is at the conference. Like we did it in 2019. There was just 4 or 5 of you.
There were 4. Yeah.
4. And you were one. That was actually like really what really brought you in to the team then, because then we started talking more afterwards. You released episodes. You and I started doing the bonus up the mailbag episodes. And that's kind of what started all this. But break down like what that means. Like if I don't know what Podcasters Row is at the 2022 Teach Better Conference, what does that mean? What should I be thinking about? Why do I care? I guess is the question.
Well, you should care because you might be on some podcasts. It's amazing. It's amazing space. So what we're gonna have is like this very, very large room. It kind of looks like a STEM room, but it's gonna have podcasters at different tables, and podcasters and are gonna be asking folks to come in and to interview them. And obviously, it's a different format for different shows. But the main thing is that at the 2019, which was so much fun, was that folks were there presenting, but they had never been on a podcast before. And so, either they came up to the tables and asked to be on the podcast, or the podcaster would go to them and say, hey, I was a part of your session, or, I was attending your session. You did an amazing job. Do you mind sharing about it on my podcast? And they would just sit down and we'd have conversation. And then you got the buzz in the background of the conference. And it was just a really fun setting because you got to meet new people and learn a little bit about themselves. They weren't long, podcast episodes, but still gave you an opportunity to share some really impactful insight from folks that don't usually get to have a voice on that platform. So for us going forward, I'm just super excited to have folks to experience that, and we're gonna potentially do some live events, and I mean we're gonna kind of ramp it up. But I think the main thing is that people should definitely go over to that space, check it out. Even some people last time at 2019. They didn't even know what a podcast was all about. And they started to watch the process. And I know some podcasts came directly from that experience, from just watching other podcasters, create in front of them. So that was super exciting to see. Like there's some people on the network that they have a podcast because of the 2019 Teach Better Conference. And that's pretty fun to think about. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool. I think what's cool is all those recordings that are happening, that they're all done. I mean, and they're done live there at the conference, right? So you get the sort of ambience of the conference, but it is a really cool setup this year. We're excited to see how that works. And I just had it when you're talking about that. I'm like, oh yeah, because people might not know what podcast is. I'm like, we should do a thing where like people come and sit and watch, and like one of the podcasts literally put up projector screen and edit an episode.
That'd be cool.
So you can see, like what are the tools you use? How do you do this? How do I go from recorded to published? And what does that look like?
Yeah, the process for sure.
Kind of cool. So Elijah says he's super stoked. We're super stoked that Elijah is.
Yeah.
I assume. Oh yeah. Elijah's podcast is on there.
He's going to be there. Yeah.
He's definitely coming. I was going to say hopefully he's coming, but he's definitely coming.
He's definitely coming.
Bree's taking notes, so that's good. So now we're going to have to figure out how to do that session. So just touching on it since we're on the conference thing, teachbetterconference.com has all that. You can register right now. You can also come be a podcaster. You can also be a sponsor if you have your own thing going on, and also if you are an author, we have a bookstore, so you can go to that. It's also under sponsor. There's a bookstore you can apply to be in the bookstore. We're gonna have an awesome bookstore with I don't know how many books, but a lot of books that people are gonna be able to purchase there. And if you're an author, we'll take care of all the sales and everything for you, so you can just enjoy the conference and do all that. So and Bria's dropping links in the comments on Facebook, so if you want to go there to check out the website and stuff like that. So super excited. We are going to be announcing soon within the next 30 days, we'll be announcing you're going to start seeing more of the selected speakers. So the proposals did close a couple weeks back. We've been going through all that, been doing that. We're about to notify them this week.
That was a big
process. If you submitted proposals, you'll note this year.
Yeah.
Or this week, sorry. So that's going to start coming out, and you'll start seeing hopefully people excited about it and celebrating it, and you'll start learning about who else is going to come in, which means the schedule is going to be forming and getting confirmed. So I would say probably by the end of June at the latest, probably before that, the schedule will get fairly finalized. There might be some additional sessions here and there and stuff, but you have a good idea of what the conference is going to be. So it's getting exciting. It's also getting terrifying.
I was gonna say
it is a lot. It's a lot. Like it's a lot going on, right? And then you're like, oh man, I hope people show up, right? So you never know. But it's gonna be really exciting. It's a bigger venue than last time. Not massive or anything like that, but it's a really nice venue there. It's actually the National Inventors Hall of Fame STEM Middle School, which is part of Akron Public Schools. And it's a really cool middle school because it used to be the National Inventors Hall of Fame. Yeah. And so it's got, it's multiple floors. It's got a unique just layout and design and stuff. There's like a lot of staircases and elevators and all kinds of.
Love it.
It's just a cool setup. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's fun. That's exciting. I do want to get into talking about our theme this week, which is outdoor education, which worked out really, really well because you shared with me before we came on that your wife is currently running an outdoor program with your kids. And we're going to dive into that. So we're going to learn more about that. So if you need to do a quick fill up, get that done. This commercial is only like 9 seconds long, so it has to be a real quick fill up. But do what you can. I was able to fill up my coffee. It was really crazy. I have an assistant over here. I just do this, and he fills it up. Thank you.
I need to get one of those. That's
good to go. You really do.
That was not the case here.
The way you do that, Josh, is two things. One, you got to really work your imagination, and then you have to learn how to lie to the camera.
Oh, I see.
And so I do this. There's no one over there. I'm just lying to all of you.
Okay, here we go. Oh, thank you.
See, I believed you. Like, successful lie. Hey, we're back with Daily Drop-In. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn, lying to you about our coffee assistants. How cool would that be?
That'd be pretty cool.
I really would love to have an assistant that's like all they did was just bring me coffee. And Ray talks about this, and Brad and Ray talk about this a lot of time on Fridays, but that would be great. If anybody's looking for that role at the conference, I would love to have an assistant at the conference who just gets me coffee all day long.
That's dangerous.
And you would get free registration at the conference. Of course, you wouldn't be able to go to any sessions. You'd have to be by my side the whole time, getting me coffee.
Right.
But you'd be able to hang out and stuff. So, Anyway, so this theme, the theme this week is outdoor education. And I wasn't aware of this. I don't think anybody was aware of this when we booked you for this week, but you were telling me before that you guys are running an outdoor program or lesson or something with your kids. So explain to me, so you have a couple of your kids, I think 3 of your kids that you do, that your wife, we'll say your wife. It's not really you. It's just her.
It's not me.
It's just Leslie. Yeah. So do that. So tell us about that. Tell us what they're doing and how they're taking it and sort of how you guys are using the outdoors there.
Of course. So,
which for your family makes so much sense.
Yeah. Well, and to give a little bit of context and some background. So, we have 3 of our boys that are homeschooled right now. And the reason for that is just because of, the pandemic and just some of the health concerns that we have at home. So, Leslie thankfully is able to do homeschool with them. And so, it's similar to what we were talking about with camping before, Jeff, is that the boys just do so much better outdoors. And what better way to have them engaged than to be hands-on and to be outside. And so Leslie found this amazing program that's nearby, where there's a state park that they go to, that they're able to go through, science curriculum, but it's outdoors and it's specifically meant to do that. So that way, not only the teaching and the lessons, but then also like the experiments and things, like they're able to get out and explore the space. And I think that's the most important piece, because it's one thing to learn at home at a desk or at a table, but it's another to actually go out into the environment. And Schnexer talks about this all the time. She built her own outdoor classroom, specifically for this, and I can't wait for her session with you all. But it's different to see it in a book or to see it in your hands, and be there, live. So I think that's the main thing, was that Leslie wanted to make sure that we were changing up the environment and making sure that they were having hands-on experiences. And I think it's powerful. I think honestly, every school should have something where you have outdoor education in some form. And we've experimented with that on our campus, where we've really pushed, especially last year with the pandemic. We didn't want kids to be indoors all the time. So, we explored it. We have a courtyard in the middle of our campus. So, there's trees and things in the middle of our building. And so we literally just booked teachers. We just had a schedule all day, like what teacher wanted what period to go out there to take the class out. Mm-hmm. And one, it was because we wanted them to be able to take off their mask and be outside and be safe. But also it was a chance to, change their environment. And our kids at school, we saw honestly a difference in their behavior. And so then we started to do that even for lunches. We started to open up different spaces to get kids outdoors, because, it was a time for them to unwind, to be able to socialize. In the cafeteria, for most cafeterias, it's like sit down and stay there and eat.
It's loud. It's crazy.
It's really loud and it's crazy. Yeah. And some of our kids, it was overstimulating, and they didn't want to be in that space. They want to go anywhere but there. So, it gave those students an opportunity to go outside, and, it's a little bit quieter. But then also, for the students that have like ADHD, and they need to move, and they need to be active, I gave them a chance to go outside, to walk around and to communicate with their friends without getting in trouble. Because most of the time at school, and I was this way, I get in trouble all the time because I didn't want to sit down for 8 hours, and every time I did something, it was like, stop standing up, sit down, and being told that like 50 times a day, like that's pretty defeating. So, trying to find opportunities for kids to get up, to move, and to get out into, at least the outdoors. It's not like forest around our school, but at least to give them an opportunity to change environments and, be able to move a little bit.
And Dave and I touched on that yesterday, talking about this, how like even just taking it from indoor to outdoor and changing the environment can have such a positive impact. Even when even if you're doing the same lesson, the same stuff, but you're doing it outdoors, the change can be just such a positive thing. So, and then you can obviously take it from there to be more immersive into the outdoors and using the outdoors, for it. But and so that's what going to, you said it's connected with the state park, which is awesome. So is the curriculum through the state park, or is it the curriculum that you use that has a partnership with the state park? Like how does?
Yeah, they have a curriculum that, is associated with it. So, so it's nice for Leslie, because she's obviously got material here, but she's able to kind of connect it with what they're also. So it's kind of taking two curriculums and kind of blending them together. And
but using specific stuff that park has so that they can really get immersed into the environment and stuff. Yeah, that's really cool.
And then there's also the socialization piece, because there's other kids there, and they get to do experiments together, and where here they would just have their brothers to do it with, but they get to meet other students. So that's amazing. Great. Yeah, I want to, not to take this a different direction, but I was also thinking, the outdoor piece is like when my students are, as an administrator, I have to deal with students making poor choices all the time, or being really escalated with their emotions. And so sometimes what I found was, if I took them outdoors to have a conversation, they actually de-escalated quicker than if I was to take them into the office. And so, so some of my practice now is that I would just ask them if they want to go outside with me, and then we take a walk around the building
gets
And
them out of the space where they were frustrated or angered or whatever.
yes,
There's fresh air. It's just a different thing. That's
no
really interesting.
fluorescent lights. I mean, like there's a
Yeah.
lot of things that I was starting to think about and breaking that down of like how potentially to de-escalate a student, and that was one of my tactics. And honestly, buddy, it helps quite a bit to get them outdoors. So any administrator listening, if you got an escalated kid, try it. I want you to.
That's a unique take on how outdoor learning, like, I mean, for the behavior piece, that's really cool. Schnexer's going crazy. She's loving this. Can you remind us, Josh, for everyone, where you're located, maybe what that park is? What the national
I
park?
don't
Do
know
you
the park. I think
Okay,
it's in
well,
McKinney, but
I think Becky's gonna need you to maybe email her, let her know.
I will do
She'd
that.
love to see that curriculum.
Of course.
Becky loves finding those partnerships and ideas so that she can continue to share that stuff out. Patty, I'm going to bring this up too because she says her friend's taking a science class and combined with art, hasn't learned about what waste goes into all the school drains. Then they paint storm drains for awareness. Oh, that's cool. See,
Okay,
I love,
so as
like,
an
and
art
that's
teacher, I used to do
so
that all the
that's
time.
what I love about, like, I love that was perfect, Patty, because like a lot of times I think when you think outdoor learning, your mind goes to science because nature, but again, you can do so many other things. You can combine them outside because she's good. That process is combining nature and the society and how we affect things, but also the art piece and awareness and I love it. So
can I go down the art piece? Because
yeah,
I'm gonna start geeking out if I can
geek
talk
out,
about
my
art.
friend, geek out.
So before being an administrator, I was an art teacher, and so that was another thing I love to do is to take my classes outdoors, and we'd actually make art from nature, from the environment. So you couldn't like the kids couldn't damage anything. It had to be like something that was like free falling. So like rocks, grass, dead leaves, dead sticks. They couldn't like destroy.
You couldn't go cut down a tree.
No, trust me, they wanted to. Yeah, they wanted to, but. So it was a way to, like, I would find artists that had natural sculptures and things and give them examples and then say, like, I'm only sharing a little bit of this, but then you need to go out, find your materials and build something, a sculpture of some sort, but only with the natural environment. And then they would take a photo of it because obviously, weather and whatnot would destroy it after a while. So then they'd actually have that as what they would turn in. So it was a digital form of a sculpture that they created.
Gotcha. Okay.
Or we go out to, other places. We had like a cemetery that wasn't too far that we would take potentially photographs, go on nature walks, and, they had to have their cameras with, and they would have to, take the photos and then replicate the photo later in whatever medium that they were working on. So, trying to find ways to get them out of class and find something that they wanted to reproduce. So any way that I could get them out was a good day. Not only for them, for myself too, as a teacher. It's just a little bit better of a day when you get to go out in nature, fresh air. And the kids, they always were begging me, like, can we go outside to go find something to, take photographs on? Or we would actually take these large boards and the kids would do still lifes outside too. So they would just set up somewhere and then they would just look, and whatever was in front of them is what they had to draw. So just trying to find any way to get outside as much as possible.
Okay, we're getting lots of comments. Elijah said you need to talk to his wife Tracy, who she's a middle school art teacher with hopes to work as an administrator. Ooh, Josh is definitely the one to talk to for that, because that is a unique route.
Actually,
I love that.
Where's my book? One of those, right?
It's over that shoulder.
That shoulder. That also talks about me going from an art educator to administrator too. So
that's exciting. I was going to ask a question. Now I completely lost where I was going to go with it because you went down the art route there. It's super cool. I love that we're able to. I just love that we're exploring this, especially the art route. That was really cool. I love the nature thing. That's what I love, is the idea of utilizing the natural elements to create art. It's so cool. That's what I was going to say. My neighbor 2 doors down is an art teacher, and during the pandemic, he realized really quickly, as many teachers did, that not all of his students had what they needed to do art projects at their house. And so he started going, okay, how do I do that? And he changed up everything he did. And he's like 3 years from retirement. So this was like messing up his world. He's just been like in cruise control for a while. And he's like, he had to start thinking, how do I do all the stuff I was going to do with them just using things that they can go find, like grass and mud and rocks and things like that. And he said it was crazy because he just thought differently. It which is really cool. I think the pandemic, silver lining, did that. It made us really get out of our comfort zone and think through things. But anytime we can combine that, there's so much. I feel like we're exploring so much here today of all the different ways that using the outdoors can have an impactful experience on your students. That's not just, hey, let's go sit underneath the sun, but let's go explore. Let's go figure out how do we do art here? How do we create art out in the wilderness? How do we use the wilderness or the outdoors to create art? Like, it's really cool. So I'm loving it. I think he's going to be excited. I know Becky's excited, which means Thursday's going to be even better. It's going to be a good time. We do have some good news stories. I have a good news story for us, and we have some holidays to celebrate as well. So let's jump into those real quick.
Cool.
Welcome back to Daily Drop-In. We are live Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern Time here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I've got Joshua Stamper with me this morning. We're talking outdoor education. We're talking art. We're talking camping. We're talking podcasts. We're talking conference. We're going all over the place. We're talking Josh's book that he can't find behind him. It's been a good morning so far. We're talking lying about coffee assistants. We're all over the place. It's been a good time. Josh, you are the guest. So, do you want to go to the good news story first or to holidays first? You get to choose which way we go.
I love holidays. Let's do holidays.
Holidays. Okay. Well, I hope you love breakfast.
I love breakfast.
Because today is Endless Breakfast Day. It's actually a celebration of Denny's Endless Breakfast. They're all-you-can-eat breakfast at an unbeatable price. I just realized that now, too. How do you feel about flying and aviation?
Yeah, love flying.
I think we can all agree that a very important aspect of that and important person in that process is the technicians and the maintenance guys and gals that work on those planes to make sure we don't, fall out of the sky.
Agreed.
So today is National Aviation Maintenance Technician Day.
Okay.
So
kudos to them.
If you're flying, make sure you give those guys an extra salute or hi or wave or something.
Or buy them breakfast.
Or buy them an endless breakfast, although endless breakfast might prevent them from fixing the plane because they get so into that delicious endless breakfast at a great price that they forget to keep your plane running. So I don't know.
I want my technicians full, man. I don't know about you.
I want them full and satisfied with their breakfast. That's a good point. Are you a fan? Do you cook much? Who does cooking in your household? Is it you or does Leslie do all that?
We're pretty.
You split back and forth.
Yeah.
What's your go-to?
It really is breakfast.
It is breakfast.
Was because the kids know when it's the weekend because I always cook breakfast Saturday and Sunday. So really anytime I'm off, if I'm home in the morning, I'm cooking breakfast.
Is the go-to pancakes and eggs and like that, or do you have a specialty? Do you do a casserole?
French toast,
French toast,
omelets.
Okay.
I mean, there's got to be some bacon involved, sausage. I mean, there's got to be some type of breakfast meat that's involved too. So we eat pretty hearty around here. Yeah, breakfast time's for real when Dad's home.
I think I'm thinking the men's cabin at the team retreat needs to have some bacon in it.
Most definitely.
So any of your breakfast dishes come with asparagus by any chance?
No.
Oh, we might have to change it up because today is actually National Asparagus Day.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I've had it before, but if you wrap asparagus in bacon, it's delicious.
Okay, I will agree with that. Pretty much anything with bacon, it's going to make it
that's really what it is. It's also National Brothers Day. Call your brother and tell him you love him, even though he'll say you're weird afterwards, which is exactly how my brothers would respond. I'm the youngest of three, so I guess I'll have to say something to my brothers. I don't know.
I don't have a brother, so
I'll be.
You're the closest thing I got, Jeff, to a brother.
You called me today, buddy, and you tell me that you love me, and then I'll tell you that you're weird.
Okay.
Today's also National Caterers Appreciation Day. Which, by the way, can I just say, and this is legit, this is how I always feel, not just because today's a special day, but I don't think caterers get enough respect, man. What they have to do,
not at all.
You see, when I go to a wedding, and it's because I DJ weddings and stuff like that, you got a good buffet, and they get tables through quickly and everything like that,
yep.
And you're like, wow, all right, these people give up their Friday and Saturday nights to do this, and they rock us in and out of here. But so kudos and thank you to all the caterers out there. This is also National Escargot Day. Have you ever had escargot?
I want to say yes, but I don't. Yeah, actually, I have on a cruise.
You have, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while.
this is the celebrating the love for that French delicacy. So it's also National Scavenger Hunt Day. So outdoor learning, maybe go on a little scavenger hunt, something to think
There you
about.
go.
And it's also National Wyoming Day.
Okay.
So that's,
Does every state have a day?
I think most do at some point. So I think so. Yeah. It's also Bob Dylan's birthday.
Okay.
He was born on May 24th, 1941. Do you know where he was born and raised?
Minnesota.
Okay, I think that's all of our holidays. So happy holidays to you. Happy birthday to celebrate the life and legacy of Bob Dylan. And scavenger hunt, go on a scavenger hunt. And at the end of the scavenger hunt, you should end up at a Denny's for the endless all-you-can-eat breakfast. And if you have a chance, wrap some asparagus in it and then thank your aviation mechanic.
Man, listen to Bob Dylan.
A lot of stuff you can share with your students or your staff or whatever to bring up some conversations, Or it's a great idea to be like, hey, call an old friend, be like, hey, it's been a while. Like, do you want to go get some breakfast? Because it's National English Breakfast Day. Let's go catch up.
Is Denny's sponsoring this episode? Because I feel like they should.
They should, but no,
Just
they're
saying.
not. Denny's, if you're listening, let me know. All right, good news story. Now I have to be completely transparent here. When I picked this story, is because the picture is a little blurry because it was taken like later at night. So like the image of this animal looked to me like a shot of someone thinking it was the Loch Ness monster, and that's why I click into it. But that's not what it is.
I was thinking
like,
Bigfoot.
Someone finally got a decent picture of Nessie, and that's not what happened. She's still hiding as she always has. But there was an otter spotted in the Detroit River, and they think it's the first one spotted in over 100 years.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of cool. Now, to be fair, the picture does kind of look like a Loch Ness monster picture, so there's a chance that that's just someone's like thumb or a weird, but it looks pretty much like an otter. They went through it. They did confirm it. After watching it was a grainy cell phone video, but they really did confirm. The University of Windsor confirmed that it was a North American river otter. And the reaction from it was really exciting, is because it's been over a century since they spotted one. But these river otters are very particular about the waters that they're in and are only in clean waters. So what they're looking at is that this is an indication that a lot of work that's been going into a lot of conservation efforts in and around the Detroit River is working. Nice. And the ecosystem there is growing and becoming cleaner. So it's a positive one. So that's something cool that you could take that with your students. You could explore otters, right? You can branch off to otters. You could branch off into the Detroit River and the history of that and the pollution, how that affects the environment. Right. And then what are the efforts that they're doing to improve that and clean that up? What can we do in our local environment? So like, man, that's a connection to a local state park or something like that. Could be really, really cool. So are you an otter fan?
Sure. Yeah.
When we go to
cuddly guys.
We go to the zoo. The kids love the otters. The Akron Zoo, which is a smaller zoo, but they do a really nice job. They've got an otter cave, and then there's a slide that goes through the water, and the kids love it. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
You can hit they have like buttons where you can hit the shower. Yeah. So it turns the shower on, and the otters get under. Oh, that's not true. They've never gone under that shower when I'm there. I just sit there for hours hidden in the shower, and like nothing happens. I love otters. They're so adorable.
Really, just any animal that's swimming that you can see live, I think is pretty fun. Like we have at the Dallas Zoo, we have these hippos, and they never move.
So cool.
And they finally the last time we were there, they were going crazy. They were everywhere, and that was so much fun to see. Or like penguins or any other animal that you can see. Dolphins,
penguins.
Whales,
Penguins are top of my list. I have a video from when Jonathan was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 or something, and he's got a Batman outfit on, and he's running. Well, so there's probably about 25 foot long, where you were under the water, where you could view the water underneath for the penguins, Sure. And he's running back and forth, and this penguin is following him back and forth the whole time. Now, truth be told, penguin probably thought he had a fish because you can feed him there.
Sure.
But it was hilarious because it was a kid in a Batman uniform and the penguin was chasing him. And everyone's just losing it laughing. It was adorable. I'll have to find that. What's your favorite animal, Josh? That just sparked a random question for me.
A lion.
Why?
I just think they're
like. Do you like the male lions with the
yeah,
stuff,
just
or the female
like
lions that actually do all the work? Which
the
sounds very
imagery,
similar to your household,
right? I think
Oh,
this is very similar to what our dynamic is at home. No, I think growing up, like, it's funny that my mom always had lions in my room as a small child. I just think they're just kind of majestic, strong looking animals. And
yeah.
Just the imagery of like leadership to that too, I think it's always been a connection for me. I mean, I have it tattooed on my arm. I have this large lion on my arm. So that and orca whales, I always were fascinated with orca whales.
Wow.
I have a lot of artwork that I've done over the years as a kid. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, those are probably two that I can think of off the top of my head.
Very strong leadership focus. What's that say about me that it's penguins for me? Like that.
I'm afraid to say, Jeff. Do you like the water? Do you enjoy swimming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love water. I've always loved penguins. It actually comes from, I think, like, oddly enough, like I've always been a big Pittsburgh Penguins hockey fan. And then
there you go.
If you want to know it, I just started like a Penguins. I went to Youngstown State University, which is the Penguins. I just caught, but I don't know when I started liking penguins, but I've always loved penguins, which is why that video like with Jonathan was so cool, because it's my favorite animal too. But I'm not sure why. Like, you had a very good answer for why. I'm not sure why I love penguins. I think I don't know. They're already always ready to either like serve hors d'oeuvres or go get pull the car around. But at the same time, they can be like a maniacal like villain.
Yeah.
In a comic, like maybe that's why.
I'm just thinking the ones in like Mary Poppins, you know.
See, I went to the ones in Batman. What is it, Batman Returns or whatever, where they're marching with the missiles.
Yeah, with the missiles.
That's where my mind went. Maybe that's why I like them. I'm like, oh, there's an army. It's great. I could have my little army of penguins where
they were deadly in that movie.
Destroy Batman, but then at the end we could just cuddle. And I'd cuddle in, like, they keep the eggs like in their feet, like I just cuddle in, be all warm, like it'd be great.
Maybe Happy Feet.
Happy Feet. Oh yeah, it's a good one. So.
Lori said house dog.
So I think Lori thought that we were talking about what we wanted to be. We were talking about our favorite, but I think Lori's saying that she just wants to be.
She's got a point.
I'm good with that too. Sleep all day, get fed, and can run pretty fast. But you don't have to run because you can just sleep all day.
Exactly.
That's what I do. So anyway, okay, that was interesting. Sorry, that was a weird turn that I took us on there.
Well, that's how the conversation goes with you, Jeff. You just never know where
you're going to end up. It really is. I feel like we've gone. We talked about the conference. We talked about podcasts. We talked about outdoor learning. We've talked about art. We talked about otters. We talked about lions and penguins, and now house cats. It's just She ran to get a copy and came in at the wrong time. And just thought we were talking about. And that's okay, Lori. Like, it's good. Like, we can talk. Like, so. Good question. Thank you, Lori. Josh, if you were going to be an animal, would you choose to be a lion, or is there a different animal that you prefer to be?
I'd probably be like a bird or something, right? So like I could fly around, and I think that would be pretty fun.
Interesting. What?
Yeah.
So you would be a bird, like Zazu, like, so then you could like serve a lion.
that would make sense, wouldn't it?
That makes sense.
I don't know about a specific, but like a hawk or something, something that's like a little bit bigger, but
you need that prey. So I'm sensing a little bit. I think there might be something about why you need these.
There's a psychoanalysis here.
There's something going on here.
Yeah,
overcompensation, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, who knows? I think a hawk, though. Yeah, hawk or an eagle.
I love you too, brother. Appreciate that.
I think I'd rather be a dog too, because like dogs get treated better than kids sometimes. So I think I'd rather be a dog.
Hey, some of them are walking around in carriages and they got clothes. I mean,
I'd want to be a little dog, like a dog that like someone like puts me in a, like, I'd want to be like Paris Hilton's dog. Like, put me in your purse, feed me, owe me the best water in the world. Like just, and I'm just pampered. I get, I probably have my own salary and assistant. I probably have a coffee assistant. Probably have a coffee assistant. Right. It's like a Kibble and Bits. I would be Kibble and Bits. What's the expensive stuff? Is it expensive stuff?
No idea. My dogs are getting
Kibbles and Bits. Don't know. They get cool stuff. Yeah. All right. We have completely gone off the rails here. And what was actually a very, I think, great conversation the whole time. Lori has completely derailed for us this morning. So if you have any complaints about where we currently are on Daily Drop-In, you can send those to Lori, and she will be receiving all of that. No, it's not true. We appreciate you, Lori. Appreciate you all watching and being here. Josh, any last minute words of wisdom to share with those educators that still have either days left with students or just days left in the office, days left in their schools in one way or another that aren't out yet on summer break, that they should take with them to finish out, whether they have one day left or another week or two. I know we have some friends up in the Great White North who still have about a month left. A lot of folks. So what would you say to those folks that aren't quite out yet, that still are just in their school year? I talked to someone yesterday down in North Carolina, like their school is just getting in testing this week.
I know.
They've got a little bit of stuff.
Yeah.
Thoughts to all those folks.
Well, for sure. So I think the topic is right on hand. I mean, get outside. I mean, have some fun, do some exploration. And obviously you want to connect it to the material that you're teaching. But at the same time, I think, with the little bit of time left, I mean, try and make it as useful as possible. But in a tough year, I think you should be allowed to explore and have a little grace, little fun in spots. So I think that's the thing is, like, there's a little component of mental health there, for everyone,
For sure.
Not only for the teachers, but for the students too. They're the ones that are having to go through the state testing. And I mean, as we all know, that's not a fun process. My kids at home, every day that they had to do state testing, they come home and they were just wrecked, just mentally and physically. And it was because they were sitting there for, 5-6 hours waiting for everyone to be done testing. And then they had to go into class and learn material right after that. So, just being mindful of what's still to be done with the school year, but, having an opportunity for kids to have a little bit of fun around the state testing. And I know things are kind of tailored down. So, like, teachers, want to just like maybe throw on a movie or, do some games, and that's fine, like within its own context, like, but at the same time, similar to what that guy you were talking about, like he was on the end of his career and he was trying to like find new lessons, and because he was kind of forced to, trying to do the same thing with the last couple of weeks of school. Maybe there's a lesson that you've heard about or you saw on social media that you wanted to try sometime, but you never had an opportunity. Well, this might be a great time to do that. Try and explore, new techniques, new strategies, new games, using it as kind of a testing time for yourself, as a teacher, stretch yourself a little bit, but have the opportunity to fail on that. And it's not high stakes,
Yeah, because testing's probably done, observations are done. Now's a great chance to try some stuff, have some fun, right? Yeah.
So if you've never done an outdoor, lesson before, what better time, right? The weather's getting a little bit nicer, especially up north. Obviously it was a little bit colder in Minnesota. My mom was saying it was like 40s, but
a day or 2 days ago, I saw our friend Darren Pepper shared he was back home in Wyoming and it was snowing.
Yeah. So like, obviously that's probably not the best time, but as it's getting a little bit warmer, you can get out and enjoy the weather. But yeah, I think right now is a perfect time to try new things and not feel the pressure to be perfect within that lesson. But it might be something that you find out is really successful and that you can implement the following school year.
I love it. You heard it. Josh, appreciate you jumping on, brother. Have a good day at school as you wrap up your year. And as you get your day going, thanks for dropping in and watching us. Thanks for listening. If you're listening later on the podcast, make sure you subscribe and leave a rating and review. Really appreciate that. Appreciate you being here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, 7 a.m. Eastern time for another daily drop. And appreciate you. And if you need anything at all, as always, just reach out and let us know. Have a good one, guys.